Welcome to Wagons of Steel. It's a party and everyone's invited. Sorry, it's been a little while. This is, as I'm filming this, it's getting towards the end of January. It's cold and wet. It hasn't been boring. I've had lots of work, which is good. Got lots of things to spend money on. My tow rig, the mighty 2004 Ford F-350 pickup truck, which has towed me and all my crap all over the country, 2 cross-country trips to Florida and back. He's been a little under the weather lately, some of my friends are good at working on stuff like that, but I refer to it as the nuclear submarine because, man, you open the hood of that thing, whoo, it's kind of scary. And I guess to do just about anything on one of those trucks, you have to take the cab off, which if you've done it a few times, you can do it in 35 minutes and it's easy. But if you haven't done it a few times like me, I can worry about it for 35 minutes. So on next Tuesday, a couple days from now, I'm going to send it off to Bowen Scarf Ford and have them see what's up with him. I'm hoping it won't be too brutal, but it's a great truck, so no matter what, I'll fix it. This has been kind of a, in some ways, it's been kind of a sad year already, and some things I have to touch on. We lost a couple people from our Division 6 drag racing community. One of them was Al Young, who's a superhero of drag racing. He's God, anything I say couldn't do justice. He's really a fixture in Northwest drag racing. He was in his 70s. I'm not sure exactly how old. Maybe his late 70s. He was a really healthy, happy guy. He was out drag racing last year. He held the lead in sportsman points for a while, and he raced pro and sportsman class. He was always a hitter. I faced off against him a bunch of times. I have no idea, who won the most times. Probably him. His famous trademark car was light green, sassy grass, I guess is I never get that right. Sassy grass, I think is the name of the color. Anyways, this electric green colored 1970 Dodge Challenger. And he raced that thing for years. And at one point was the world champion in super gas class. And super gas is, the cars run on a 990 index, so you have to make your car run 990s, or actually you make your car run faster than 990s and slow it down to 990s. But he was an awesome racer. I guess one of his many claims to fame was that he actually drove his 990 Dodge Challenger to the track and then swapped the wheels and stuff there. He told me that he eventually had to stop doing that because it was bad for him. That car is retired, and it's if you're in the Northwest, you can go see it at the Museum of History and Industry. It's on display there. He never told me this. He's not really a braggadocious kind of guy, but I guess at one point he did a display, like a demonstration where he took that whole car apart for an audience, then put it back together again, explaining what each part did as he did it. Just crazy. So he was a teacher by day, and he was really a teacher at the racetrack too. He would tell you all kinds of stuff. I remember my son had just started racing, and I can't remember what question he had. He asked me about something about Al Young, and I said, well, just go ask him. And I managed to introduce him, and my son is fearless when it comes to talking to strangers. and asking lots of questions. And I was really glad that he had an opportunity to talk to Al a little bit before he passed away. Like I say, completely unexpected. Another guy. I'm just trying to keep myself together. Tom Gaynor was another guy I raced with a bunch, and he was he raced in super gas. No, he raced super stock. He used to race in stock, and actually the one time I made it to the final round in stock eliminator down in Medford, Oregon, he was in the other lane, and we were both running C stock automatic. I think could have been B stock, but it was a heads up, and he red lit by 1/1000th of a second, 001 red, and so I won that, and that was where I got my one and only Wally. And yeah, he was just such a great guy. He always remembered all kinds of stuff, and he would always, he's just a super generous, nice guy. It was really a pleasure to talk to him, and I just another guy. I was not expecting that at all. I have no idea why he died. He was in his early 70s. He was an old school drag racer. He'd been around the sport for longer than I've been alive, I guess. And he has a couple of sons who both raced for a while. Tommy is still racing, and John races roundy round dirt track cars. And boy, I really feel for those guys. That's a terrible loss. So, hopefully that'll be the last of that for this year. Everybody out there, stay alive and in good health. Quit smoking, quit drinking, treat yourself right, and just remember to treat those people that you love like you love them. And, nobody's here forever. So, as you can see now, I've gotten a bunch of requests for my famous Batter Asser t-shirts. So I'm printing a bunch of these now. This is on permanent screen, so I can always print Batter Asser t-shirts. In fact, the ones I'm printing right now some of them are XXL Batter Asser t-shirts for a friend of mine. So if you need a Batter Asser t-shirt, I can print one for you too. Any size you like. Send me some money. I'll charge $30 and include the shipping, and I'll throw in some stickers and whatever other cool stuff comes to hand. Had some really great response selling the calendars and t-shirts. Really appreciate that. And every little bit helps. I'm putting the engine back together again, putting the band back together again, man. And as you can imagine, putting a max wedge in to get a stock eliminator engine together is not cheap. So every little bit that you can pitch in definitely helps. Lots of cool stuff to send you. What actual news do I have? I guess. Well, first up, like I said before, I got to fix the nuclear submarine. God knows how much that's going to cost. And then I got the reciprocating assembly for the engine. Lightly used, but in tip-top shape. This year I'm going to be running high compression instead of low compression. And the 64 max wedge, high compression is 12.5 to 1. Can you believe they sold a 12.5 to 1 engine to the general public? And last year I had the low compression. Don't want to get too far off into the weeds and chase people away, but the difference between the high compression and the low compression, besides the compression, which is, I think it's 11, I want to say 11 3/4 or 11 and a half to 1 for the low, and 12 and a half for the high. Other than that, they have the same cam, like a 520 lift, and the same heads, and that's basically the same except for the compression ratio, which comes from a high lift or the dome pistons. The low and high both have dome pistons, which is pretty exotic for a Mopar. They usually are flat tops, and so the high compression has a bigger dome on it. So I'm hoping to get that done to put together a real season this year. We'll see. I'm a family man and got my own business and all this shit that has to be paid for. So we're just gonna have to take it one day at a time and see what we can do with that. I will keep you in the loop. I'll let you know what's going on. I won't let as much time go by before I make the next video. I have a really cool video up for you next. That's all I'm going to tell you. I always like those urban exploration type videos, and I've got a really cool thing to show you. And so keep an eye out for that. And for now, just remember to hug those people you love, and keep your rubber side down, your shiny side up, and keep the wet stuff inside the engine. And I'll see you in a week or two. Take care.